and welcome to the BAM Sports Show. It is Tuesday, July 12th. I am joined tonight with my dude Ryan,
Yeah.
and Southside Sox Rob is with us tonight. He did not fall asleep on us.
I am up. I'm ready to go.
He set an
Fired up.
alarm.
He
I
probably
did.
did. He probably
I
did
did.
set an
No,
alarm.
he did.
I
He
did.
told me he did.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I can't lie. I did. But I'm
He's like-
fucking here.
He's like, I
He's here.
can't talk shit and not, show up.
I just could have missed tonight's show.
Yeah, so we got some things to jump into. We got a guest on tonight. I'm excited. Rob, he's actually from your hometown of Portage. A good old friend of mine, Alec. He's the race director for Stars Championship Series. It's like a national karting. So we'll get into that once he jumps on. But let's kind of talk about some football real quick. Bears made a trade today, huh?
Yes.
Love it.
Recording in progress.
Oh, it's
So
recording
what
in process.
So I'm gonna go ahead and be honest. When they came through, I like you said, oh, first round. I didn't know who he was. The more I look into it,
Right.
the more I like it. But you were hyped. You were really excited about it. So Ryan,
So
yours.
his NFL tenure so far has not been good, but he was super highly touted out of, was it Arizona State?
Arizona State.
Yeah, and he's 6'4", 230 pounds or something like that. Like, he's a big body, but he comes with first-round pedigree. He was a very talented player for college, and I just think getting him in a new system away from, some really good wide receivers don't do well in Belichick's system.
Mm-hmm.
Let me just tell you one thing right there. No wide receiver fits. When was the last time the Patriots actually produced a wide receiver?
Wes Welker,
Yeah,
Julian
maybe-
Edelman.
Julian
I mean,
Edelman.
did they draft him though? No. You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah,
a guy they
no.
drafted. They bring free agents in, but they have Tom Brady.
They got a newer kid that they drafted recently. That's was it Jacoby Myers?
Mhm.
Yeah.
He's not too bad, but he
But
was.
I'm
I don't
just saying
think
the
he
last-
was. He might have been an undrafted free agent actually.
I'm just saying
I had
in
him
the
in fantasy. I had him in fantasy. The 1 week they threw that wide receiver screen pass for a touchdown. I got double points because he threw the touchdown.
Nice.
Yeah, I was like, it was the only week that dude played, but I got double points. So what kind of receiver is Harry? Is he more of like a
So
What are
Mooney
comps?
is fast. St. Brown is fast. Velas Jones, lightning fast. So we've
Yeah.
got the speed dude. He's more of a bigger body. Like I said, he's 6'4". Let's see, checking in here, 6'4", 225. That one of his biggest things was able to get up and get the jump ball in college, and the contested catches he was really good with.
One of the wide receivers who I can compare him to, and I hate to say this, but is AJ Brown.
Hmm.
I mean, and
AJ
I watched
Heartbreak
him.
Brown?
Yeah. So, and I watched him in college, so I know how he plays. I don't think he got a fair shot with the Patriots.
I don't think so
a,
either.
I think a fresh start in Chicago is going to be way better for him. Plus the chip on his shoulder. You got traded. You're going to Chicago. You want to prove to the world that you're this guy. You're a former first round pick. It's a low risk, high reward.
Oh,
I think.
100%. It's especially the risk. The risk is a 2024 7th round pick.
Yeah.
So
Well, and you said it was a 7th round. I was like, okay, like that's cool.
no,
but
it's a
not even- it's coming-
2024 7th rounder,
that's-
and it's not even a conditional pick either.
Yeah.
It's just here. Yeah, we'll give you our last round pick.
Mhm.
Mr. Irrelevant, hopefully.
I mean,
So-
ideally that'd be awesome.
Right.
So, but going back to the Patriots, like you were saying, receivers don't thrive there. Against the Bills, they threw 3 passes. So
Wait, 3
mean-
total passes?
Yeah, wasn't it last year?
It was that snow blizzard game.
Oh,
yeah.
that's
I believe
right.
It was
That's
close.
right.
You know,
You're
so
right.
I mean, I get it. That's not their game plan every week, but shit, if they're able to execute that kind of game plan and beat the Bills, mind you, they beat the Bills. Don't forget.
Mm-hmm.
Like, of course, a wide receiver is not going to thrive in New England.
I'm sorry, but the Bills are who we thought they were. It's
Good.
the Bills weren't that
Really
good
fucking
that
good.
week.
Really fucking good.
I mean they're good, but it was early in the season.
Sounds like an AFC fan right now.
I know. But no, I'm just saying, like I love football. I watch all type of games, but I'm just saying, like the Bills just look like shit that game.
Yeah, I mean, I
54
think
days, boys, beat
most
Arkansas.
teams.
You
What?
know, who?
54 days, beat Arkansas.
Who's beating Arkansas?
Cincinnati, baby.
He's talking about college football.
Oh yeah, we had college football.
Oh, dude, one thing about this guy coming on, I know he's a Michigan fan.
Oh yeah, he's a big
Oof.
Michigan guy.
Oof.
Cause he sent me a video. What was it?
I have to go take a
it was like-
shit during that break.
It was like he sent me like a TikTok video of this dog that picks like the playoff teams or whatever, and like it
Mhm.
drops a basketball down and like whatever hoop
Oh,
it
yeah,
fell
yeah.
in,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and it fell in Alabama's hoop, but it basically it claimed like Alabama was gonna play Michigan, and then Georgia came out and just beat the shit out of Michigan, and he was like, well, I guess the dog was half right.
Mhm.
I want to go back to the Bears.
Okay.
Duh,
Shit.
Bears. A lot of people on the onlines are screaming about how they didn't go out and do enough for Justin Fields. I disagree. That's a whole new wide receivers room. All right?
It is.
Darnell, he's there. Okay, you got the draft pick, Velus Jones Jr., who Windy City Gridiron on Twitter is just having a field day, putting him in these old pictures. Like, Velus Jones was there when Babe Ruth hit his first home run.
Oh, what is it? Windy City Gridiron?
Yeah. Very
Check
funny.
that out. That's
good,
funny.
Good memeage. But then they brought in Equinamius, another guy that's a new start. Okay. Was on a team, didn't get a fair shake, it felt like. New start. Dante Pettis, same thing. That guy's I've really liked Pettis for a long time, but apparently his penis went inside of a coach's wife or something like that, because he was in the doghouse the entire time.
If I'm Eberflus, I'm immediately making that dude a game one starter.
Who, Pettis?
Like just to make sure he doesn't sleep with my wife.
Oh,
Like, dude, you can start, just don't.
maybe
Don't.
he's into it. You
Nagy
never
would
know.
be probably. You know Nagy'd be into it.
Yeah.
Fucking weird ass.
Let me just tell you one person.
He'd be the first one texting me for feet pics with 4 toes.
And
Guaranteed.
that's St. Brown.
No, that's Rex Ryan. Rex Ryan would be texting you for that. Anyways,
Yes,
St. Brown.
St. Brown. Yes.
Another big fucking dude.
No, I like him, and like Ryan said, he never got a fair shot. He was buried on the depth chart. Aaron Rodgers used his top target that's no longer there. He used Robert Tonyan, tight end, and they have a lot of weapons. Rodgers doesn't just find one person, and then he finds these guys that they just draft, and boom, they become superstars. But St. Brown never got a shot. I think he's gonna excel well with Justin Fields. I really do.
I hope so. I was high on him, but the thing that I really like about what they have done is, all right, you've got Pringle, he's on a 1-year deal. All right. St. Brown, Pettis, N'Keal Harry now, even Tajay Sharp. If any of these guys ball out, we have them on real cheap deals now.
Correct.
St. Brown, we gave nothing. We farted in the wind and we got him. But like, that's also potentially like, hey, we need a second receiver and this dude's balling out. We're going to send you a fourth. We're going to send you, any of these guys blow up, we could see some midseason trades from the Bears, try to recoup some picks to keep building through the draft. I don't think it'll happen, but that's a possibility now.
I think for me, the thing that is exciting, so the Chicago letdown, right? Like every year that a Chicago team is supposed to be good.
Right.
Case in point, the White Sox. It's a
Not the
fucking
Cubs, though.
train wreck.
Not the Cubs.
Oh, hold on.
I called them in
2017
I called them in 2016.
Okay, but outside of 2016,
I called 2017 as well.
you know, so it's exciting because the national news has been the Bears are going to suck. So, but we'll come back to that. We are joined. My good friend Alec is with us, race director. Is it Stars Championship Series?
Are you
What's up?
are you sitting in a racing simulator right now?
I am
Excellent.
indeed, yes.
Excellent. I like it.
I do. I used to race, but I didn't do it, but it definitely still isn't cheap.
I want to get into it. It sounds like it's always looked really fun, and I got the PC for it, but
Yeah.
it's all the peripherals are
Yeah,
very
I mean, it's
expensive.
Yeah, it's a money pit. I mean, it's not as bad as actually racing, like I said, but
Right.
I'm pretty invested into it, and it's like, yeah, it fills the itch a little bit though.
So how many years have you been doing it?
Sim racing, or are you talking about just in karting in general?
Just karting in general.
I mean, I honestly was born into karting. I mean, I was in a stroller at the kart track with my dad, and then he raced for like 25 years. And then I was in the kart for 6 years, and then it just became too expensive. I mean, it's kind of a one-way money pit in karting.
Mhm.
I mean, with the ultimate goal, just like every other sport, to come up through the ranks. But just like any other sport, only 0.25% of people actually get there. So yeah, after that, we kind of got out of it, and then just had an opportunity to start working for a couple traveling series. And it's just kind of been ever since a thing me and my dad have just done for some side money and meeting a ton of good people all around the country.
Awesome.
So Alec, before we get into your organization, give us a little bit about, I guess, you said you grew up in a car. Like, what is your first memory of being behind a wheel? Like, give us a little insight to someone falling in love and wanting to be at the track all day, every day, working those long hours.
Yeah, I mean, I guess just fall in love with the sport in general. I mean, I grew up every year since I was like, I think 3 or 4. My dad took me to Carb Day, which is the last practice before the Indy 500. So that kind of started the whole motorsports thing. And then obviously every Sunday or every other Sunday or whatnot, in the summers he was racing. And then I got to be, I think I was probably 13 years old, and he's like, hey, try this on, see if it fits. So I put a helmet on, and then I put a suit on, and I put some gloves on, and at the end of it was like an October day, and he just put me out in some guy's random cart. I loved it, and then that was the last race of the season. So all through the off season, we ended up buying my first cart, got all my own equipment and stuff like that, and my very first year karting, I won Rookie of the Year. And then won another pretty prestigious award a couple of years later. And I mean, I was never into the level I'm working at now.
Sure.
We were at like a club level. So I mean, to put it in other sports terms, I was pretty much racing Little League, and it goes all the way up to Major League Baseball, pretty much in karting. So I mean, I was at the lower level, but the participation was still good. I mean, I was racing against a pretty good competition at the time, but we never got so in depth into it. But I mean, my dad still to this day is still paying for it a little bit, so it's definitely not cheap.
So tell us a little bit about your organization. You just kind of gave the comparison that when you raced, you were at Little League, and it goes all the way up to Major League. Kind of where does your organization fall in those ranks? Tell us a little bit about you guys.
Yeah, so I mean, we've only been going for strong at least for about 2 years now, and this year is by far the first 2 races have been the strongest we've had. Every karting organization kind of goes by entries, so it's the number of karters that came to race with you. We're right around that 200 number now. Last year we were about 120. In the first year we did it, we were only scratching to hope to get 75, 80 people coming.
And is that like entries in one race, or is that multiple races?
multiple races. So there is everyone from starting 6-year-old through 9-year-old class, all the way up to the pro divisions, which are usually in the range of about 16-year-olds to 28-year-olds. And then you have masters divisions, which are like the older guys that are still kind of doing it as a hobby. That just like to go out there and do it. I mean, they're past their prime, just like anybody else would be in a sport, but they still have that itch to do it, so they go out there. So yeah, it's total throughout. Like our last race in North Carolina, we averaged about 25, 30 drivers per class over 9-10 classes. So that's just kind of how you get your entry pool, is how many sign up to race the event. They're not all out there at the same time, but that's kind of where you set your benchmark in karting, is how many entries did this event have, and they must be doing pretty good when they got 200.
So is that kind of how you kind of grow, just like organically? Like, hey, I saw this, this company had 200 entries this weekend. They have an event in a month. I want to try to go to that event because of what I saw here.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, because you start getting the bigger names. You get the teams that come in with full semis full of 30 go-karts just themselves. And then they pull in, and all their competition's like, well, I want to go beat that guy because I know that he is someone that's pretty renowned in our sport. So they start showing up to our events. They're starting to think, okay, they're getting some more of the heavier guys. That's good competition. That's going to maybe get my name out there. And then obviously our series is probably one of the best content series out there. I mean, that's a huge part of all this, is creating content for your series, videos, pictures, and all that.
100%.
And getting it out there. Because, I mean, all the kids, especially coming up, they like to see their names plastered all over when they win and everything like that. So you really got to be able to spread your brand to get people to come. And that's how you grow it. I mean, like I said, we've pretty much from last year to this year almost doubled now. And hopefully to keep that going in the right direction.
That's awesome.
Ryan, Rob, you have a question?
I was going to say, and then, it goes on. I mean, we're still regional level, I guess we would claim it. We're kind of on the brink of that national level, but for the first 5 years, actually, until I got into this one, the last two, I worked with a more national level series, and they're over 300 entries and probably have the biggest karting event on the planet every year. When I go to Vegas in November, they literally take a big parking lot in Vegas and we build the track ourselves, like with barriers. And people come from 50 different countries throughout the world to race in it.
So how fast do these carts go?
Ryan, you're watching it. You YouTube this. Like, I can see it in your screen. You're watching this
questions.
on YouTube.
No, I'm not. I guarantee you.
Yes. So,
he was looking up questions to ask.
So it all varies. These carts can the gearbox carts can get well over 100 miles an hour, but on an average course that we're racing on, carts probably average 60, 70 miles an hour.
Which is
Kids
still
are doing
insane.
Probably 60. Well, yeah, considering you're an inch off the ground.
Yeah.
You're not strapped in. Like no seatbelts, nothing in these. It's not like your typical looking at like Zao Island and seeing these people show up to pay money to do a 10-minute race. Like, it's pretty damn dangerous and extremely professional.
You had any gnarly crashes?
Oh yeah, there's a lot. I've never seen anything too bad where anybody got like seriously hurt, but there's been some of them out there that we've obviously all heard of. And the thing is with our event too, with Stars, the people that run it, like our boss pretty much, is also the owner of National Kart Alliance, which is the insurance company that like insures pretty much 75% of the racetracks in America, not just karting. So we kind of know all about that kind of some of the bad stuff that goes on in the sport too, as far as injuries like that.
So hold on, you're not strapped in to this shit?
No, it's made to come out. You don't. So when you flip in a cart, they want you to come out because they don't want it landing on top of you, and then that causes neck issues. So pretty much, if it's going over, you're moving a cart is to bail. Luckily, in my 6 years, I never was at that point. I mean, I've been in some wrecks, I've bent some shit up, but never got to that point. But my dad actually flipped in front of me a couple of years before I was starting racing, and that kind of shook me up a little bit at that age.
I can imagine.
Do they put you? So I grew up riding BMX, and like one of the things I got really good at is bailing. Like if I knew a trick, doing a trick, if it wasn't gonna work out for me, I knew how to safely get out of it without getting injured. Do they teach you anything about like?
It's called a tuck and pray.
Yeah. Make sure you wear your diaper.
All these guys, I mean, like to speak to the professionalism of it all, like, I mean, all these younger kids coming up, they have really experienced driver coaches that they pay to be there. Like it's not just like me and my dad was, where my dad was teaching me. He didn't know too much, but he was just giving me what he had. These kids have drivers coaching. So I'm sure they, in a way, go through a lot of that stuff too. I mean, that's all stuff you do have to be aware of, obviously, right. But you're not hoping coming into the weekend that you're going to end up on your head, but
right.
I mean, there's a right way to probably do it if you can, and then a wrong way.
This is so fascinating to me that you're going 60 to 70 miles an hour, you're an inch off the ground, like
you're not strapped in.
You're not strapped in. Yeah,
I mean,
like I'm used to like you said, like the Zao Island, carts.
Yeah.
So like when I had seen you posting on Facebook about it, I was like, he races go-karts? Like what? And then like I started like looking into it and seeing what you were doing, and I was just like, holy shit, okay, like we've got to have him on here because I'm intrigued. So how does someone, I have a kid, or I guess Ryan, or say, Rob says, hey, I want to get Leo into racing. Every time I'm playing Xbox, he says, NASCAR game, Daddy. So he wants to get Leo into racing. What are kind of like, for baseball, you go to Dick's Sporting Goods, you buy a bat, you buy some cleats, you buy a glove, you take them to baseball practice. I'm assuming you can't just do something as simple as that for this.
I mean, in a way, I mean, I guess when they're smaller, it's a little more challenging, but there isn't, I mean, so my home track is in South Bend, and it pretty much has kind of fizzled down to, there's not too many big races that get held there anymore. It's mainly that concession type stuff. So you could take your kid up there tomorrow and put him out there for 60 minutes in a actual professional go-kart that's fit somewhat for him to at least get his feet wet. And then the owner of that track is a dealer for one of the chassis companies, like in North America.
Mm-hmm.
So, you could go through him pretty much.
What's the youngest guy you have on your team? Like
as far as like working wise, I mean, I think we have a couple people that are late teens, early 20s. And then, like I said, on track, I mean, there's not in our series, but there's kid karts out there that kids racing at 4 years old, which is insane to think about. But
yeah, it's crazy.
And it's actually, I mean, it's one of the best training tools for all the professional drivers. Any professional driver that in the off season comes and races go-karts. Like that event that I work in Vegas every year, that's usually when most of the IndyCar drivers are done with their season. A lot of them sign up to come for that because it's such a big training tool. Like, and the cool thing is too, like all the drivers I grew up watching, I'm now seeing I'm pretty much the person that's in charge of the series that their kids are racing for. Like Kevin Harvick's kids running our series.
That's
and
crazy.
Dominating.
Holy shit, that's awesome.
And like, yeah, I mean, it's all the big guys. And then, I mean, I've obviously worked races where we have NASCAR drivers, 3-4 of them in one class. So it's pretty cool to see.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Ryan, I got a question for you. What the hell tells you when he joined this? What the hell tells you that he was in a racing simulator?
His chair. I can just tell. It looks like a car chair,
It's like a
and he's
chair,
leaned
yeah.
back, and then you can see a big screen reflection off of his glasses.
Mm-hmm. That's what threw me with the screens, the double screens. It's not a gaming chair. It's
flip this or not, but I mean, I got
There it
the
is.
wheel here and everything.
There, see?
Shit.
Yeah, I want to build one of those after I get this trash
fun.
heap fixed up behind me.
Dude,
It's a lot
that'd
of
be so
fun.
badass.
I've
like I said,
always
it's,
really been into racing. I've just never been a NASCAR guy.
I'm not an NASCAR guy either, to be honest with you.
I like F1.
I mean, karting's open wheel, so
Right.
F1 and IndyCar are my two things.
Yeah.
But this sim stuff, like I said, kind of is something to do when it's not as expensive. I mean, like I was talking about that Vegas race, we have a semi guy, the owner of one of the teams, he actually owns Cincinnati Motorsports Park.
Oh, cool.
He said the race in Vegas, he unrolls about 26 carts off of his trailer, his semi trailer. And then drivers show up and run for him. Like they run his carts for him. His tire bill for 5 days in a go-kart event was $30,000 just for the tire.
I'm good.
Just for the tires on his team.
Give me some iRacing. I'm good there.
So
I would love to actually just get in one of these. It's been something I've wanted to do for a very long time. Is this kind of
Drive
karting?
to South Bend.
I think Blake should send us all out to.
I mean, it's not that far, really. I can go catch a South Bend Cubs game too.
Go check out the not the Cubs, but go check out that place. I'm serious. Gary will work with you and get you guys some time, and you'd have a blast doing
We
it.
have like a little it's Knights Action Park here in Springfield, and they've got one of those old school little go-kart tracks with the the shitty ones.
I think there's an actual track kind of near you.
There is one somewhat close because
I forgot what it's called.
I think it's in Mechanicsburg or something like that. It's not too far away from where I'm at, but I don't have the time, but I don't have the means right now to get in one of these. But man, I want to sometime.
Yeah, that's why you got to go out and just do I mean, it's just like a concession cart. I mean, I actually I haven't been in a cart 3 years, but we finished up our event on Saturday in North Carolina, and we had to come back Sunday to clean up, and they were doing their rentals all day, and I just jumped in one, and it was still a blast. I mean, it's underpowered and it's a lot slower, but those ones you actually are strapped into as well, because you got people that are
you called that
at all,
like a concession cart is what you called that? Yeah,
that's kind of what we like in the industry term those as. They're just like concession carts.
Yeah, so
anybody can show up. I was out there with no gloves on, shorts and a t-shirt and a rental helmet. So I mean, you can go out and have fun in those with a group. Like just today, I think some BMW group out in South Bend rented the track out for the whole day that I grew up at, and they just did those all day long.
That sounds.
So I mean, it's fun to do, and that's not anything too expensive. I mean, you could for $100 you could go do that with a big group of people all day, and at least get the experience to an extent of it. I mean, it's not going to give you the full speed, but you'd still do 45, 50 miles an hour and feel like you're flying because of the how close you are to the ground and the reaction time it still takes.
I think the BAM Sports Show needs to go.
There's got to be one in between Indiana and St. Louis.
I know we have one here in St. Louis that's like an indoor track, because I did it a couple years ago for a bachelor party, and we had to wear helmets and sign waivers, and I think they hit like 40 miles an hour or something like that. It was indoor. But that's fucking awesome. So you said 5 days. The 27 carts was like $30,000 for the tires. So like, what do one of these carts cost? Like if Rob takes Leo to the track, Gary hooks him up, has Leo the whole way home. Leo won't shut up about it. He walks inside, tells Kelsey, "Hey, I got bad news. We gotta buy a cart." And Kelsey says, "Okay, what's the damage?" What's the damage?
Yeah, I mean, the damage could be anywhere from $2-3 to $9-10 grand. It really all depends on how much you want to dive into it. Then that's just to obviously start. You're not getting, if you want to be competitive, you're getting tires every other weekend for it. Fuel, you got to burn race fuel, which when I raced was $5 a gallon, but now that's unleaded fuel, so now it's 10 a gallon for race fuel.
Right.
So I mean, all that stuff, but yeah, I mean, you could start at a lower level with like the 206 engine, which is a 4-cylinder engine, and get a used cart that can be competitive for $3,000 probably.
Okay.
If you're wanting to get a flow-bone 2-stroke engine that you're going to do high speeds at and a full-blown adult cart, you're going to spend 6, 7, 8K. And then if you want to get a shifter cart, which it has a gearbox on it, you're going to spend over 10K. So, it's a wide variety, but it's on how much you want to go into it, really.
Just want to let you guys know, Kelsey will not be listening to this show.
I'm gonna send it to her directly. So, if Rob goes out and buys a $2,000 cart for Leo, and then Ryan goes out and buys a $3,000 cart for his kid.
Don't worry, Rob. It's just because I'm balling harder.
I guess so.
In the household. So
yeah.
Does Ryan have an advantage because he bought a? Are they going to be in the same class? Like, how does that work?
That's all pretty much size of the chassis. If they're the same age kid, they'd be pretty much in the same class. They'd have to buy the same spec chassis. But just like in baseball, where there's Mizuno, A2000, Rawlings, every go-kart chassis is made by a different company.
Okay.
Tony Kart's made over in Italy. So is Burrell, but they're rivals. There's tons of different chassis out there, so you can really buy whatever you want there. And then as far as being in the same class, that would come down to obviously age and then engine package. They could both run 206 Cadet at their age, but they could also run Mini Swift, which is the 2-stroke and much faster version. As far
in
as
the same
spending
race,
1,000, yeah. And as far as determining like if he spends $1,000 more, will be better? No, that doesn't always mean the case. It all also comes down to which driver's going to have the more balls, who's going to put more practice in, who's got a guy that knows the go-kart better that can tune it. It's just like every other form of racing. You can go out, you can give a great driver a horribly handling race car, and he's going to go out there and not be as fast. But
sure.
if you dial it in, it doesn't matter how expensive it is, it's going to be dialed in, and they'll make it work. But these kids, I don't even know. The kids that I'm dealing with at the level that we're at now, I don't even know how they even do homeschool. They live at go-kart tracks, and then when they're not, they're traveling to the next one. It's insane the investment that these parents put on these kids, just to be, like I said, that 1% that might make it there.
Wow.
And
so what is end goal? Like Formula One? Like, is that the goal?
Yeah,
or like
IndyCar,
what?
Formula One, NASCAR. It could be anything. One of the kids I know somewhat well is, I think, 14 or so now. And he's racing in the stock car, just traveling stock car series countrywide. And he just became like the youngest winner of it. I think his goal is NASCAR, because ultimately, if it's not F1, NASCAR is more worth. There's more money in NASCAR than there is in not Indy. So if you're chasing money, you probably can go NASCAR, and I think that's his ultimate goal there. But it doesn't have to be that, though. It could be spec Mazdas. They're literally Mazda Miatas, and they put roll cages in them, and it's a traveling circuit. I guess the end goal really would just be get into cars, get into some form of cars that, I don't know, you can make some income on, get some sponsors with, and stuff like that.
That's awesome. So, Ryan, Rob, any other racing involved or karting questions before I ask Alex the last 2 questions that I have before we let him go this evening?
No, I think we pretty much got it covered. Go ahead.
Mm-hmm.
So, Alec, we have had I'm going to call it a privilege of listening to Rob bitch and moan and bitch and moan on this soapbox about Tony La Russa. Is it just Rob, or is it all White Sox fans? Does La Russa have to go?
He's got to go, dude. He has got to go. It's so bad, and I saw this stat like a couple of months ago that was like, this is the same record he had through however many games in '83, and he ended up getting first in the division. I'm like, the only thing that I'm looking at in this whole stat is the fact that we have a manager back here that was here 40 years ago. Like,
That's fair.
it's just, I'm so over it. I'm so frustrated. I've been to 2 games this year. I don't want to go back. I've lost both of them when I was there. One to the Cubs. I'm just like, dude, something's got to change. This is pathetic.
Winners win,
feel,
baby.
I mean,
Winners win.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
feel
mean,
Tony La Russa. Go ahead.
It's just a laughing stock at this point. I don't even have, like, I have Cubs fans friends that I can't even say anything. They're having fun at least. They're winning I mean, they're still winning games. Like, they were supposed to be bad.
I'm enjoying the
fighting.
season.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you still get to watch players go out there. I mean, there is nothing when you watch a game anymore with the Sox. Last year it was like the whole change the game thing. Everyone's having fun. They're a blast to watch. I knew it really wasn't their year then.
Mm-hmm.
Thought this year would be different. Obviously, injuries have sucked, but Tony's lost the clubhouse. It's got to change.
I just feel Tony La Russa like killed my favorite team. That's exactly how I feel. Yeah. I feel like when I watch the game
and ownership has killed your team.
Well, that too. I mean, with them going out and just worrying about the bullpen. I mean, dude, you got a right field issue. We missed out on Bryce Harper, Manny Machado.
Wait, hold on. Can you back that up about 5 seconds? Repeat that statement for me one more time. I just want the camera to make sure we get it nice and clear and loud from you. You have a what issue?
We missed out on Bryce Harper.
You have a what issue?
Yeah,
Hold on.
Which outfield
position?
spot?
I think he said right field.
Right field.
Right field. Huh. Can't seem to put a finger on a problem there. Oh, yeah, I remember. AJ
Pollock. You had to. I mean, you had to trade Kimbrel. I mean, it was.
Dude, AJ Pollock is not. He's coming around a little bit.
Yes.
That's Blake's least favorite player for some reason.
I don't know why he hates him so much.
No, I said he was not the answer for you guys in right field when you traded for him. You stood there and no, not you. Rob sat there and told me AJ Pollock's great.
Happy.
He's fantastic. And then like a week later, he was like 1 for 27.
He's just struggling. I mean,
the worst part is like we wanted to make our bullpen better, and we have like the worst bullpen in baseball. It's so bad. I don't feel comfortable. We could be up 13-0, and I don't think it's gonna play out.
Tony La Russa would intentionally walk all the batters.
Oh my god, I could go on all night, dude. We just talk to my friends like this every day. Just like I could talk forever about how annoyed with the stuff he does that makes absolutely no sense.
Well, and the messed up thing is, like, dude, like, we're a laughing stock. Like, everybody looks at us just laughing. Like, how, like, Joe Manning got fired, Joe Girardi got fired. Yet, how the hell does Tony La Russa still have a job? And it's because Jerry Reinsdorf. It is, and he got fired once. He's definitely not going to get fired again, and that's the whole problem. So
I think Reinsdorf needs to talk to him from friend to friend and be like, "Listen, Tony, I'm not going to fire you, but just say you have a health issue
down.
And you have to step down.
We'll keep paying you."
Because here's the thing, like, we get made fun of about our attendance for however long, but this year, I mean, we have people going, like, and it's going to slowly just go back down because no one wants to make a change. Like, I've been to the 2 games I've been to, there was a ton of energy. Obviously midweek games. I mean, not everyone goes to those for any team, but you go there on a weekend right now, that whole lower, I mean, it's a huge stadium for one. So, I mean, you can't compare it to the smaller ones. Like, it's hard to fill that up, but you go there on the weekend, the whole lower bowl is full. I mean, you got people in the suites having fun. You still got people up in the top level, and it's going to just get worse throughout the year because the team doesn't even want to show up anymore. So why would the fans?
They really don't, actually. And it's they just go out and do whatever. It's like Tony La Russa said, all right, get up and just play ball. Do what you got to do.
I was at the Tigers game like last Friday night, and Robert missed that fly ball on Friday night. And like Lurie Garcia's laughing. Like he caught the ball back in. He's like laughing. I'm just like, what do we do? Let's leave. And then they almost came back and won. But
I feel like it's like, what can they mess up, man? It's like this team cannot, like, the fundamentals. Where's the fundamentals? And I'm not talking about new guys upcoming. These guys are like professionals that have been in the league 8 or 9 years already,
Oh,
and
yeah.
you don't know how to play the game. You know, like Lance Lynn, was it yesterday or the day before that he pitched? He wasn't backing up home plate. Like what, dude? This is baseball, man. You learn this in
Yeah.
Little League. Like
It's
Alex,
a con- it's a
who's the
bombshell.
ace of the White Sox pitching staff? If you had to name an ace, who's the
it's
ace?
Dylan Cease.
Well, I know
You
everybody's
told me
talking about
Lance
this.
Lynn.
I did.
Who?
I did. No. I told him this before Lance Lynn even came back.
Oh.
I said, if we coming into this season, everyone healthy, if we had to run one guy out there to win a game after last year, it would be Lance Lynn.
Mhm.
Like that's who I would have picked. But obviously now, I mean, it's pretty evident that one, he might not be healthy, and two, Dylan Cease is just a dog. Like,
Yeah.
so I'm
Not an
obviously
all-star, though.
going with that.
And he got
That's
snubbed.
a snub.
That's
is.
what an all-time
I-
snub.
That's
I'm
an
not.
all-time snub.
I'm not
Dude, I saw a
disagreeing.
stat
Chill the
today.
fuck out.
No, I know you're not. I'm saying I saw a stat today that literally said like Dylan Cease is the 73rd pitcher, and I don't know what the exact stat was. 73rd pitcher to do this. The first 72 were all stars.
Yep.
I'm just
That's crazy.
Yep.
I
That's
think
it.
it's surprising to, I mean, because we went through on the show and we picked division leaders, and I think the White Sox was one of the only unanimous divisions that we agreed on, that it was going to be the White Sox, and it's just been shocking to us. So last time before we let you go, this last year college football, your team finally did it. They took care
Yeah.
of the mighty Ohio State puke. Are they going to do it again this year?
I think they're gonna have a good team. I don't know. Going into the shoe, dude. I'm just trying to be a realist here. I like to think that we could. I think we legitimately probably have the best O line in the country, and I think that's what won us the game against Ohio State. I actually, the one thing I'll give Ohio State is I do think the weather helped us in that game. Like Ohio State had such a prolific passing offense that snow and crappy weather did help. So
Yeah, but you're from
November,
Columbus.
yeah, I know they should. No, I'm not. I mean, I'm not trying to make excuses for them. I think Michigan dominated that game, and we got two killer running backs coming back, and I'm hoping we make the right quarterback call. I think my prediction would be I think they go into that. I think they can run the table and go into that game undefeated, and I think that's going to be kind of a toss-up. Got a couple other tough ones, I guess, in there. I think we got Iowa this year from the West, so I don't know. We'll see, but I don't know if I can give a yes or no on that one.
Can you imagine
Ohio
USC having
Ohio
to go
State's
in?
just so good. Yeah, I can't wait for that.
Like, imagine them having to play at the big house in that weather. Them little pretty boys from LA. Come on now.
I've seen some of the funniest memes I've ever seen in the
Oh,
last couple
yeah.
of weeks of USC and UCLA coming into the shoe in November, and like they're like coming off a bus wearing like bikinis and shit. And I'm just like, dude, it's gonna be bad. Like, they're not gonna have a clue. Plus, neither of those teams have been that good lately. So
Yeah.
like they're gonna
No.
be middle of the pack, and then they're gonna lose to even the teams like coming into Northwestern. They're gonna play on natural turf in November, and like they'll lose there, like just because they're not gonna have any idea what to do. This whole conference thing is gonna be wild, I think.
This
Yeah,
thing that
Lincoln-
it's funny.
You're good.
You know, when they play Iowa, they're not gonna know, like when Iowa spreads out 3 tight ends, they're not gonna know what the fuck to do. Like what?
That was one of the memes. That was one of the memes I saw.
I saw
like when Iowa runs out 3 tight ends against USC, they're like sitting there like counting them. Like,
yeah.
is this legal?
I think
No, it'll be
Lane
good.
Kiffin's a great coach. I think he had good success at Oklahoma, but Oklahoma was in the Big 12, and I think Lane would have had success in the Pac-12. But I think jumping to the Big 10 is going to be a whole different hurdle for them.
You mean Lincoln Riley?
Yeah, I said Lane Kiffin. Ooh,
Yeah.
that's how you can tell.
Man.
I know.
Yeah.
I
Rough.
know.
Oof.
I know. So, Alec, we appreciate you jumping on today, my friend.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I
what-
pop in once in a while when I got time to watch you guys, man. It's fun. I like dudes just shooting the shit, talking about sports. It's always good. So
That's
Yeah.
what we strive to be. So we'll have to
keep
have you back on
doing your
here.
thing and having fun with it. Absolutely.
You too.
All
man.
right,
Maybe
brother.
when
We
college
appreciate
football
it.
season starts.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's plan on having you back. We'll talk some Michigan
Oh, I
Notre
can't
Dame
wait.
rivalry.
Oh god, I hope they come to the Big Ten. I want to beat them up every year.
Ooh.
I don't know.
I know
Marcus
you
Freeman
guys
got
like
that shit turned around.
They do. I think they'll be good. I like giving. I get shit.
I
Growing up
can't
my whole life
say
here in South Bend
anything.
territory, so
I'm an
I like
Illinois
to just poke
fan.
fun.
I
Oh God.
I can say stuff in basketball.
Ryan's
Basketball's
like, we
good.
have a football team? All right, Alec. We appreciate you, my friend. I'll catch you next time, buddy.
All right,
All right,
we'll
Alec.
talk to you guys.
See
a
ya.
good
Hey, man. So, I didn't realize how.
So, hold on.
It still fucking blows my mind that you're going 67, 70 miles an hour, these motherfuckers, an inch off the ground, and you're not strapped into this goddamn thing.
Yeah, and Blake, I'm on you. I was totally. I thought this was fucking go karts.
Like,
I mean, it is.
I know,
but
but
it's like go karts on
no.
steroids, man.
Yeah, but I was expecting like fucking like Zale Island go karts, but a little faster and more powerful. You know, like I get it. I like Zale Island, but I'm talking about like the like kind of like the motors, bigger, better. But dude, when he said not strapped in, I'm like, what the fuck? Like,
Yeah, dude.
is
So
that even legal?
I've watched this shit for a long time, and fuck, I want to do one of those. Just drive one of those. Can you
Well,
imagine
it's
how
fun
fast
for a
that?
day.
Yeah. Can you imagine how
Yeah.
fun that would be? An inch and a half off of the ground.
I would wear
Just
a man diaper.
fucking
A
going.
mander for sure.
Do you
Because
think-
I'm probably gonna shit myself.
Do you think you could get one of those out on the highway?
Oh,
It goes 100.
oh, dude. Could you?
Just fucking Jim
You pull up to the
conning
rental- You pull up to the
under.
rental office. You're just like, I'm not stopping.
Skirt. You'd have to probably stop for gas like every rest area.
That's what I meant to ask him. Is how long are those Like, do they have pit stops in these races? Or
Yeah,
is it like
I would think
like
so.
3-4 laps? Like, I don't. I meant to ask him that, and I completely forgot because we asked the topic. But that still is crazy to me. And I mean, I guess these kids. But I guess it makes sense, right? You see it with like baseball and other sports. Like
Mhm.
they're starting to go, more, I guess, serious, right? Like year round, like the kids. Like I met a friend last night for dinner, and she was telling me her son is, starting to get really competitive with baseball. So she said
Man,
it's like cheerleading, but it's year round. It's hella intense. It's if you're not at the field, you're at the cages, or if you're not at the cages, you're at the gym. And it's like
all
these kids are.
all
I just-
three of my nieces do that. They do year-round softball. There's a Peoria, Illinois. There's like an indoor softball field. We're getting one in the next year or two. They travel. I mean, they fucking go all over to play, and they're really good. Like you can tell the level of competition, and like not to be a proud uncle or whatever, but I mean the girls are really freaking good. But I just with Noah, I don't think we can afford it because that shit is way too expensive.
Yeah.
It's just
After
how it
he told me the
is.
price, I was like, I thought hockey was expensive.
Yeah, but I'm just saying like
Holy
like
shit.
playing travel ball, like
Oh, I know.
yeah.
I just. It still blows my mind that.
Props to Alex though, man, for doing it all.
Hell
Man,
yeah.
That's I got to say it, man. After
And like
hearing-
So I know someone that lives down here. Actually, there's two of them. They live down here. They cheer up at ICE, Illinois, up there for Lady Lightning. They're homeschooled because they literally drive up to ICE Naperville and cheer. So it's interesting to me that it's not that like, and I mean this with the absolute most respect and love, that their moms are not crazy and off their shit rockers, that this is actually a thing in other sports, other avenues. Like I've seen it, like with host families where like an athlete will go live with somebody to be on a specific team.
Mm-hmm.
But like these kids literally live in these RVs and travel the country at these tracks. That's crazy to me.
That's yeah.
Yeah, a lot of these kids get homeschooled. I mean, because of that.
I want my kid to be a kid when it comes down to it. Like
Mm-hmm.
go get in some trouble. Light a firework off in the house.
Whoa.
Mine
whoa,
did.
whoa.
Mine did that today.
I
It was
was
one of
like,
those little snap pops, but
coming
yeah.
from the guy that had a house fire, I would not recommend that.
Touche.
Man, and he said like $100 you could almost like rent the track the whole day.
Yeah, it's worth it.
That's crazy.
That's definitely worth it. Definitely worth it, and that's definitely something I would look into, especially if
Maybe
it's in South Bend.
one of these days when FanDuel picks up the show and gets us a fat contract. FanDuel, we're still waiting on you. Hit us up. We're ready when you are.
Fly
We
us
can
out
do,
to
like,
Vegas.
Dude, and we could do like a BAM sports show, day at the track, day at a baseball game, and just get a nut.
It's legal there.
Hold on. So, do you ever play? You ever
Yeah.
play?
Bet on
drunk-
yourself.
Oh, what?
What are you gonna
Yeah,
bet
hell
on?
yeah. To beat you fools in a race, yeah. You ever play like drunk Mario Kart, or drinking and driving with Mario Kart?
Yeah,
You ever
yeah.
play that game? So we do that, but with the real go karts.
Shit.
So
That sounds
you
like
can't-
somebody's going to die.
you can't be moving the go kart when you're drinking, so the go kart has to be stopped. So in this case, the safest
Those are
bet would be
sponsors.
to do the whole race. We're not Henry Ruggs. Do the whole race. Get right before you cross the finish line. Stop, chug your beer, cross the finish line. That's always been my strategy with Mario Kart. Get to the very end, the very finish line, chug my beer, finish.
See,
Some
I
people
just like
to
winning.
beginning, but then you're fucked up.
I just win, baby. That's how
Just
I
win. Just win.
Am. Yeah. But if we're doing
So
all
we're-
this, I'm fucking throwing bananas at you guys. Fucking straight. I'm not talking about.
He's gonna fly from Indiana with just a suitcase. He's nothing in it but bananas.
Yeah.
Fucking Rob
Just
gets out of the car.
peels.
He's got a Donkey Kong outfit on. Like,
Yeah,
what the fuck?
Instead of shells, it's gonna be fucking eggs.
Oh,
And I hope you fuckers spin out if you guys want to talk Mario Kart.
This just in.
That's-
Rob hopes that we die.
that's fucking.
I would hope you guys are okay, but as long as I win.
If you ain't
So
first,
my
you
wife and I
last.
used to carpool to work, and in the morning she would eat a banana, and like she'd roll the window down,
And just throw it.
throw out the fucking thing, and she'd be like, "Banana peel." I'm like, "What the fuck are you doing?" She's like, letting them know there's a banana peel coming. I'm like, "It's a fucking car and a banana peel. They're fine." Like,
And then there's just a big fiery explosion behind you.
Yeah.
oh, Ryan, did you see group chat?
I did.
Okay. All right. So Friday show coming at you guys live. I will be in Iowa, so I'm gonna bring my computer with me and do it from the Airbnb. So we'll be good Friday. I think Rick will be joining us as well. I want to talk a little bit of fantasy stuff on Friday because now we're starting to get to the point like we can start like theory crafting.
Oh,
rosters
fantasy
and stuff like
sports.
that. What did you go to Dungeons and Dragons?
No, I
What
went
the
to
fuck?
I went to kink.
Hold on. Now, be-
Fetish Friday.
There's our new segment. I like it.
but
But
I know
stuff,
we talked
yeah.
about. I saw her Dungeons and Dragons. You started watching Stranger Things. How far did you get? And do you like it?
I'm like 2 episodes in and I love it, and I can only really start watching it like at night.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so it's gonna take a while for me to catch up, but
Mhm.
it's fucking amazing.
Yeah. It is.
Is it really that good?
It's really
Yeah.
good.
I've been debating. I'm watching. They put Shooter on Netflix, the show,
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
which is really fucking good. I don't know if you've seen that.
Uh-uh.
Really fucking good.
No. No.
So Ryan's watching Stranger Things. I'm watching Shooter. Rob, what are you watching?
I'm actually watching All American. Have you ever heard of All American?
That's a fucking. Someone didn't watch an episode because we talked about that.
Oh, yeah. Then I must have missed the episode. But yeah, I mean, I've been watching it, but I'm catching up though on the last season. So I don't want to do any spoilers if someone didn't watch it. So I don't want to give any. But
So
It-
no spoilers. But go ahead. Go ahead.
it is a good show, and I will tell you this: he's playing in college now, so
Mhm.
it's actually getting good.
So it's we were talking about it because we were talking about NIL stuff one night.
Okay, yeah,
And that's how we got into it because of his Coach Baker's class, right?
yeah.
And So I reached out to one of my former athletes that cheers at University of Alabama now. He was on Navarro. He was on Cheer, the Netflix show.
Yeah.
And because I know he's doing really well. I'm super proud of him. We're actually going to have him on the show to talk about some NIL stuff from his standpoint, from his side. Because I was like, man, I hope
The
someone's
dude
talking
from
to this.
Navarro and Cheer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's sick.
So yeah, they're doing a national tour right now. He just did a show in Radio City Music Hall in New York City. They're doing a national show with Cheer. So he said once he gets back to school, back to Alabama, he'll jump on with us and kind of talk through it and stuff like that. Because I was like, that's really interesting,
Mm-hmm.
So, and then we do have the other two guests that we are really excited about. We're not releasing that information yet. We do have that stuff coming out soon.
One of them is Jesus.
Dude, if we ever host Jesus on this show and we do not go viral.
I got a lot of questions for the human.
Yeah,
Oh, you
this
meant
show will
Jesus.
go up in flames if we had Jesus on this show.
Yes, I would burn just instantly.
So,
I
all
think
right,
we all
guys.
would.
Well, that is all the time that we have for tonight. We appreciate you guys checking out the BAM Sports Show. We appreciate our guest Alec for popping in, giving us another insight. I feel like we continue to have like these guests on, and they just give us just a taste of like what they do.
And it's
we had
cool because it's kind of niche stuff too.
yeah.
It's like you just get mind blown. Like, cause like you predict something, but then you hear something, you're like, well, damn, like, holy shit, that's not what I was expecting. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like after everything he was talking about this and that, it's like, well, damn, like that's crazy.
Yeah, it's interesting. So Alec, we appreciate you jumping on.
Yeah.
For sure.
All right, guys. Well, I will see you
At the
Friday.
show.
I will be coming at you live from Mascoutah, Iowa at a disc dog competition. Actually, I'll be at the Airbnb. So I will see you guys on Friday.
Word.
Word.
All right, y'all. Thanks for checking out the BAM Sports Show. We will see you then. Take care. Have a great evening. Thanks, everybody. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Later.